Call of Duty finally did it this year. They removed campaign. It's something I've heard discussed for years, the removal of the main single-player component in favor of making this a multiplayer-focused package. Now, there still is some stuff here for the solo fan, and I want to help you determine if it's worth it. What's going on, everybody? It's Ghost Robo, and I've had a blast thus far with Black Ops 4. It is a very fully featured package. I think Blackout plus multiplayer, plus a really well done zombies mode, plus the little specialist HQ is still well worth $60 and one of the best FPS experiences you're gonna find. But just how much is there if you want to play this in the style of every other Call of Duty? If you're looking for some quote-unquote campaign action, is there anything for you, and what are you going to find to spend your time with inside of Black Ops 4? Let's start with the Specialist HQ, because this was touted as sort of a pseudo-replacement for campaign. Right off the bat, I'll let you know that there is no campaign in this game. The campaign that we knew and that was a part of our fall every year, regardless of how spectacular it was always pretty solid, and for me it just became a rote part of my holiday gaming season, and so I miss that it's not there. Was it earth-shattering? Were they ever novels of prize-worthy stature? No, but they told cool, interesting stories with a lot of set pieces and usually enough fun and flair to get me through to the end, and that's pretty good as someone who likes to dabble but often dips out. Now, Specialist HQ is you learning how to use the specialists from multiplayer and their weaponry with a few cutscenes. This is, as they call it themselves, introductory onboarding mission plus skirmish. Introductory onboarding means it's a tutorial, and maybe there is a little itty-bitty challenge within, but it's not even really a challenge map. It is a straight-up tutorial where sometimes they throw a timer on the screen. Now, the skirmish that they mention after said onboarding is just a multiplayer match. They are just teaching you the differences between deathmatch and heist. They really aren't giving you anything more than throwing the specialist that you are inside of a bot match. And hey, your specialist is also who you could be in multiplayer, so it's basically offline multiplayer. These are nothing to write home about. If you're interested in the Black Ops story, there are scenes, and you can unlock more if you go back and get gold stars in these bot skirmishes. I don't really find it that rewarding or that worthwhile. The story it's telling is not one that appealed to me. I guess it's kind of cool that it's bringing the specialists together and you're learning about their leader, but it doesn't have the grand scale or scope that you've come to know from Call of Duty. So to me, Specialist HQ is a thumbs down. It's a glorified tutorial. They didn't tout it to be anything, truly campaign-like or awesome, but it's nothing really worth playing, even, unless you want to get some extra moments with the specialist. It's a thumbs down for me. I wish that they would have included Spec Ops. I think that, although not single player, I'm now advocating for something cooperative. I think it would have just been such a nice final piece of this package, but maybe that's too much and it does veer towards the multiplayer side of things. So at this point, let's pause and evaluate, because the content that was supposed to be kind of like a single player thing really just kind of stinks. So if you are a campaign crazy and that is what you came to Call of Duty for without any real interest in the multiplayer, I would say that the quality is so high this time around, you might want to keep listening and see if I can pique your interest on what I've been doing with my solo time. But if you're just there for the story and the set pieces, I think you can skip this one. And that may suck, that may save you money, but yeah, there's no campaign as expected, and they don't really do anything to replace it even a bit. So for those fans, a quick moment of silence for Call of Duty campaign. Sometimes I feel like the video game industry is going in a weird, wobbly direction, but this is what we gotta work with. So what else can you do? Zombies this time is really good solo, and I don't know if I'm just a better player this year, or previously I was too impatient, but I find that I'm able to have a lot more fun with the zombie maps. I think they're really well done. They obviously spent a lot of energy and emphasis bringing you 3 campaigns right out the gates, and they're really good. They're big open maps, and I feel like the focus is more on slaughtering zombies, staying alive, progressing. There still are all the Easter eggs, and there still are, you know, different things to find and ways to unlock extra areas of the map, nuances that I'm sure players right now and YouTubers are streaming and finding every little detail. But to me, they felt a little bit more, just a little bit easier to understand, easier to digest, and that made it a more fun solo experience. Throw in the special weapons, which are a lot of fun, especially on the chaos side of things where they're crazy. A Scepter of Ra, this Hammer of Valhalla, you've got the lovely Viper and Dragon sword and gun combo, and even the Chakram are pretty sweet as they slice through a wide array of enemies. So that side is actually where I spent most of my time, because I think Zombies is so well done, but it's not going to give you the story beats or the campaign structure that you might be missing. The cutscenes before the maps are extended, they are long, they're very pretty, but you've probably seen those already, and it's a one-and-done type experience. They do throw in a lot of little details as you play via color commentary from your character, but we've seen that in Zombies before. So while I do feel that Zombies is much better for an individual this time around, and it's just straight up an awesome mode altogether, it's not quite giving you any sort of campaign feel. The void really isn't filled on the other side either, the more multiplayer side, competitive with Blackout, although playing that solo is enjoyable, and it does, you know, do the battle royale thing in a very Call of Duty way and bring a fast-paced, ferocious, and very combat-heavy style to the genre. There's no story beats there, and obviously the multiplayer, the competitive multiplayer with TDM, heist, domination, it's a fantastic suite for competitive multiplayer. I think it's super fun, and they've really put together an awesome package. But as you probably expected, if you were coming for story beats or looking for something to crawl into the campaign space, it's just not there. Now, based on who you are, that may be an entirely awful thing, an entirely awesome thing, or maybe you're just going to have to adjust, because I do want to say, while there is no analog to campaign and Special HQ is basically worthless, it still is a lot of fun solo. The zombie modes and maps are fantastic, and I played for hours by myself. That's pretty awesome. I think the fact that I got to get through a whole lot of waves, explore the special weapons, level up a bunch, customize my classes, check out different characters, play the different maps, mess with a few of the option settings, will that stand the test of time and allow me to carry through dozens of hours? Probably not, but remember that campaign is pretty short. So I do think if you are a solo-focused player and you mainly dabble, there still is fun to be had here. I think you could get a solid 5-6 hours out of the zombie stuff just by yourself, and maybe more if you then introduce friends into the equation. You could bring bots if you want to pretend, but I really like being the one and only when it comes to those waves and waves of creepy creatures. And then, of course, you do have the competitive multiplayer, you do have the Blackout BR, and maybe this is a chance for you to dip your toes into those waters and see. So at $60, I think the package is fleshed out without any worry. At $60 for a campaign fan, Specialist HQ is not going to do it for you, not even close. Don't get your hopes up. And if you're not into zombies, well, I suggest you give it a go, because this year, for some reason, it just clicked with me so much more. I think it's fun. I think it's the style of how they've opened up the maps, and just the flow of the game, the flow of the rounds feels better and feels... I felt more in control, and I had a greater sense of accomplishment as I worked by myself through those different scenarios. So if you're a solo single-player campaign person, I don't know, end of an era, a one-off weird anomaly, I'm not quite sure. I think the Call of Duty campaign is not completely dead in the water. I'm sure we'll see another at some point, because just it's one of those things where if they take it away, they can bring it back, and that creates a whole new level of hype that consistency does not allow for. So maybe it's all just this marketing move of ebb and flow and removal and addition by subtraction, and then you add it by addition to make it feel like it's multiplied in terms of enthusiasm. Perhaps they're just pretty brilliant. I still think the package is very strong, and while it's not going to have the story, and I don't want to even hint that you could go buy another game that has a great storyline like a Spider-Man or the upcoming Red Dead Redemption 2, because that's doubling the amount of dollars you spend. I'm having fun with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I miss the campaign, but there still is a lot to love, and I think this is a really great Call of Duty. So smart move, dumb move, big mistake, just sign of the times. You could probably argue any one of those. The fact is, there's no campaign analog here. Specialist HQ ain't it, but everything else, really great. So make the choice for yourself. Let me know how you feel. If you're someone that was sad campaign was removed, do you think that the better zombie mode, the fact that I've had so much fun with it solo, the inclusion of Blackout that can be played in groups, but it can also be played solo, no story beats, is that enough for you? Are you still on board with this Call of Duty? If it's a polished, really mechanically sound, great gameplay-focused package, is that ultimately what we want, regardless of what modes are there? Or is it like, no, this is a part of my fall. The single player was always something fun. Maybe it was never great or going to win an award, but I just love going through those preset, pre-designed scenarios with set pieces, a shebang over here, a boom shakalaka over there, and a big finale after your 5, 6, 7 hours. Let me know your take in the comments down below. I'm loving the game thus far. I do miss the campaign, but Zombies has kind of stolen my heart right now, and that is where I'm dumping my hours. Give me your thoughts and feedback in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 4 action, as well as those other games I mentioned. We got Spider-Man DLC coming up. We got Fallout 76. We got Red Dead Redemption 2. Until then, though, drink so much salt. Thanks again, everybody. Have a fantastic day. I love you, and we'll see you all later.